Let's be honest, screen addiction is the one problem nobody wants to admit, yet everybody secretly struggles with. We laugh about scrolling at 3 a.m. or checking notifications in the middle of a conversation, but deep down, we know it's not funny. It's controlling us. What's wild is that the very devices designed to save us time are now the biggest reason we feel like we never have enough of it. That's not just ironic, it's a trap. Now here's the controversial part. Screen addiction isn't about the phone itself, it's about what it's doing to our brain. Endless scrolling, social media addiction, the constant dopamine hits. They're rewiring us to crave distraction over real life. And here's a counterintuitive truth. The more connected we are, the more disconnected we become. From our goals, our focus, and even from ourselves. That's why no productivity tips or self-help motivation will stick until you face this head-on. But here's the good news. Breaking phone addiction doesn't take years of therapy or some extreme digital detox in the mountains. It starts with simple, raw self-help strategies. Practical, no-fluff moves that actually give you quick rewards. Imagine having the focus and concentration you've been missing, regaining self-discipline, and finally feeling like you're the one calling the shots. This isn't just about how to reduce screen time, it's about how to stop wasting time and take control of your life. Today I'm going to show you exactly how I did it. Recognizing the real cost of screen addiction. The first step to overcoming phone addiction is realizing what it's actually costing you. Most people think, oh, it's just a few minutes here and there, but if you add it up, those minutes turn into hours, and those hours turn into lost opportunities. Think about it. How many books could you have read, skills could you have learned, or workouts could you have done in the time you spent scrolling? That's not just screen time, it's life slipping through your fingers. And here's the sneaky part. Screen addiction doesn't just waste time, it eats away at your focus and concentration. Every ping, every swipe, every quick check fractures your attention. Imagine sitting down to study or work, and suddenly your brain keeps begging for another dopamine hit. That's not a lack of self-discipline, it's your brain being rewired. The cost isn't just in lost productivity tips you didn't follow, it's in the mindset shift you never made because your attention span was hijacked. Now here's where it gets raw. Most people won't admit it, but screens are the biggest reason they procrastinate. Social media addiction makes it way too easy to avoid what matters. Want proof? Next time you're about to tackle something important, notice how fast you reach for your phone. That's not random. It's a break bad habits cycle in action. And once you see the cost clearly, you can't unsee it. The question then becomes, what do you do about it? Understanding the psychology behind phone addiction. Once you recognize the cost of screen addiction, the next step is to understand why it's so hard to break. It's not about being weak or lazy, it's about brain chemistry. Every notification, like or swipe, delivers a tiny shot of dopamine, the same chemical that drives gambling or junk food cravings. That's why stopping feels impossible. Your brain is literally chasing the next reward. Knowing this shifts the blame from I have no willpower to I need a strategy to rewire my brain. Here's something counterintuitive. Most people think they need more self-discipline, but in reality, they need fewer triggers. Think about it. If you're trying to quit sugar, you don't keep candy bars in your kitchen. The same goes for phone addiction. If your phone is buzzing beside you while you work, of course you'll check it. Want a practical step? Turn off non-essential notifications. Not only does it stop the dopamine drip, but it also frees your focus and concentration for things that actually matter. And let's get real. Social media addiction is engineered to keep you hooked. Infinite scrolling wasn't an accident. It was designed to break self-discipline and keep you glued. That's why relying only on willpower is like bringing a water gun to a forest fire. To stop scrolling, you need systems, like scheduling a dopamine detox day or using apps that block distractions for set hours. Once you see the psychology behind it, you stop fighting yourself and start fighting the design, and that's where the real shift begins. Building systems that make screen time control easier. Here's the thing, you can't just rely on raw willpower to quit screen addiction. Willpower is like a muscle, it gets tired. That's why systems matter. Think about it. When people want to save money, they automate their savings. When they want to get fit, they prep meals in advance. The same principle works for screen time control. Instead of fighting temptation all day, you build an environment where healthy habits are the default. For example, if you struggle with phone addiction at night, don't just promise yourself you'll sleep earlier. Put your phone in another room and use an old-school alarm clock. If you waste hours on social media, delete the apps from your phone and only check them from a computer during set times. These are simple self-improvement hacks, but they're powerful because they reduce friction. The less you rely on discipline, the more likely you'll succeed in breaking bad habits. And here's a practical twist. Replace screen time with something more rewarding. If you're going to break phone addiction, you need to fill that gap with activities that give real satisfaction. Read a book that fuels personal growth, like Atomic Habits by James Clear. Pick up a hobby that uses your hands, drawing, cooking, even learning guitar. When you stop wasting time on your phone, you create space for focus, creativity, and self-help motivation. And the best part? These systems don't just help you quit screen addiction, they prepare your mind for something bigger that's coming next. Replacing screen time with high-value activities. Here's a truth bomb. You can't just stop scrolling, you've got to replace that habit with something better. Otherwise, boredom creeps in, and before you know it, you're back on the phone. The secret is swapping low-value dopamine hits for activities that actually move your life forward. This is where productivity tips, self-improvement, and personal growth come alive. It's not about saying no to screens, it's about saying yes to things that energize you. Let's get practical. Instead of scrolling social media first thing in the morning, try journaling for 5 minutes about your goals for the day. That tiny shift sets your focus and concentration in the right direction. Replace late-night YouTube binges with reading books like Deep Work by Cal Newport, which teaches you how to master focus. If you've always wanted to learn a skill, coding, painting, cooking, this is the perfect slot to reclaim your time. That's how you stop wasting time and turn it into personal growth. And here's the beauty of it. These new habits create a mindset shift. You stop seeing your phone as the fun machine and start seeing real life as the exciting arena where growth happens. This is raw self-help at its finest, trading passive consumption for active creation. When you build a life filled with high-value activities, screen addiction doesn't feel like a loss anymore. It feels like freedom. And once you taste that freedom, you'll want to push it even further. Creating a long-term mindset shift. Breaking phone addiction isn't just about quick fixes. It's about building a mindset that sticks for life. Most people relapse because they treat it like a temporary digital detox, not a lifestyle shift. The goal isn't to quit screen addiction for a week and then fall back into old patterns. It's to develop self-discipline and healthy habits that reshape your identity. You're not someone trying to stop scrolling. You're becoming someone who values focus, self-improvement, and personal growth more than cheap dopamine hits. This shift starts with small wins. Every time you choose to read instead of scrolling or work on a project instead of checking notifications, you reinforce a new identity. Over time, this creates a feedback loop. The more you act like someone who values self-help motivation, the more you believe it, and the easier it gets to sustain. It's not just about how to reduce screen time, it's about proving to yourself, day by day, that you can take control of your life and overcome procrastination. And here's the powerful part. Once your mindset changes, screens lose their grip. Social media addiction stops feeling like a guilty pleasure and starts looking like a cheap substitute for the real thing. Productivity tips and focus aren't chores anymore. They're tools to build a better version of yourself. This is how you break bad habits for good, not by running from them, but by outgrowing them. And when you realize you've outgrown your old patterns, that's when the real journey begins. So here's the deal. You've seen how screen addiction eats away at your time, your focus, and even your sense of control. But you've also seen that it's possible to stop scrolling, break phone addiction, and replace it with healthy habits that actually fuel your life. The truth is, nothing changes until you decide that you're done wasting time and ready to take control of your life. The systems, the mindset shift, the dopamine detox, they only work if you choose to apply them starting today. Now ask yourself, how much longer are you willing to let a piece of glass in your pocket dictate your day? What could your life look like if you cut screen time in half and use that energy for self-improvement, personal growth, and building your dreams? Would you finally write that book, start that business, or get into the best shape of your life? These aren't abstract questions. They're the very choices shaping your future. If this video sparked something in you, don't just nod and move on. Do something about it. Start with one small action today to break bad habits and regain your focus and concentration. And if you're serious about personal growth and raw self-help motivation, subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell. That way, you'll never miss the strategies, mindset shifts, and productivity tips that can completely transform your life. This is your moment. Don't scroll past it.